Hey everybody, Anita here from Sweet Hope Cookies. The other day I did a tip video showing you how to make, well, not make, but what you could use for making an elevated airbrushing stand. This video? Okay, so afterwards I got a lot of comments, and sure, there were comments telling me, Anita, you are truly one of the most brilliant human beings I have ever met. Okay, there were none that went just like that, but let's not squabble over details. Anyway, the number one comment I got about everything in that video was about baking sheet spacers. I know, they're awesome. They're great, especially for people like me who don't have a lot of counter space. You can stack your cookies high instead of spreading them out. But the problem is, and I'm sorry to be the one to bear this bad news for you, is that you can't find them anymore because they actually aren't even manufacturing them. So if you find a place online that says they have these spacers, look at the fine print, and it will probably be in red, and it will probably say out of stock. And it means like out of stock forever and ever. Okay, but I don't want to leave you feeling in gloom and despair. So I have some good news. What I think I've come up with is a way to make your own DIY spacers. Now, they don't look like this, but they work just the same. Let me show you. I have a confession. I was really hoping that in finding a way to replicate these spacers, it would involve my electric drill, because I never get to use this thing. So I went to Home Depot and I bought little metal bits and bobs from the plumbing department and the wiring department and kind of every place in between. And I made a prototype, which I refused to show anyone. And then I decided it was time to go with the best plan, which is just to keep it simple. So here's what I came up with. Using just 3 bits of equipment, you can make spacers that are just as reliable, just as functional as the ones that you can buy, but you can't buy because they're not manufactured anymore. And I have all of them. Anyway, so here are the 3 things you need. You need a bottle of Gorilla Super Glue. You need a package of strong magnets. These are about 1-inch circles, okay? 1-inch rounds. And then you need, those you can get at Home Depot, these you can't get at Home Depot. You need a whole lot of children's building blocks. I'm not kidding. With these 3 things, you can make yourself some great spacers. Let me show you. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you because we're friends, but these DIY spacers are much more reliable than the ones that are no longer manufactured, so you can't get them anymore anyway. So why are we even talking about them? This method works awesome. Now, as you may or may not know, the cookie sheets, the baking sheets, are not magnetized. So the magnets that you're putting on the blocks aren't actually holding to the tray. They're holding to the magnet on the other side, but they create a really tight seal. I can lift the whole thing up. Look at this, people. Okay? And if I were to do this with the ones that we're not talking about anymore because they're not available, the trays would all slide off. Okay? But this is nice and sturdy. You've got a nice distance of space between the trays for a lot of good airflow, and it works just great. In fact, I'm probably going to start using these, and no, I'm not going to send you my manufactured ones because I'm not. Anyway, so the only downside that I've come up with to using this thing, this method, aside from it looking a little cheesy like your preschoolers helping you in the kitchen, which nothing is wrong with that, is that you're losing the space of the blocks on your cookie sheet. So you're going to be losing a little bit of space. Probably 1 cookie, 2 cookies worth. But that's okay because Just make more of these, put an extra sheet on top, put those cookies that didn't fit down below, boom, everything's solved. Okay, so let me take a minute now and show you how to make them. And I know you could figure this out, but you have to let me show you, because if I don't, then really, what's been the point of this movie? So let me show you how to make them, please. Let's go ahead and get this very complex and detailed tutorial underway. I'm guessing it will take us all of about, I don't know, 2 minutes? Yeah. What I won't do to entertain you. Anyway, so again, all we need are 1-inch disc-shaped magnets. And there were 6 in a container for $2.35. 1 bottle of Gorilla Super Glue, and then some children's building blocks. Now, these are the standard size, 1-inch, and they work okay, except they just didn't give me enough space between the trays, between the layers. I mean, it would work, but if you want to get some good airflow in there, this just might not be enough. Plus, if you stick a whole bunch of Hoojiggies on your cookies, it might be a little tight. You know, Hoojiggies, fondant, all that kind of stuff. All right, so we've got our blocks. Now, really, the only thing I need to show you, the reason I'm showing you this is for one particular thing. And that is, you want to make sure when you put the magnets on each side of the block that you put a north magnet on one and a south magnet on the other. You want to put attracting magnets on as opposed to putting the same magnet or the ones that oppose each other together. So you don't want 2 norths. Here's what happens. You want to be able to know that when you're stacking up your cookies, you can grab a block, and if you put one end down and it doesn't adhere, it doesn't attract, that you can turn it around and then that side will. Okay? If you do a mistake, you know, if you do them like I did in the beginning and you put the same magnet on each side, then they're not going to work, okay? So just make sure that you do a north magnet on one side and a south magnet on the other. That's what they're called, isn't it? It's been a long time since I've been in school. Okay, so here's the best way to do that so you don't get confused or mixed up. First of all, you've got your side that has the embossing, the engraving. Go ahead and put your magnets on a smooth side. Plus, that means the cute little side will show, okay? But put it on the flat side so you get full adherence of the magnet. Then what I did is just take my magnets, put them in a stack, okay? And take 2 for each. Oop. Okay, now I'm going to put just a big old drop of glue, super glue. And yes, I had my fingers stuck together a time or two last night, but we won't talk about that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the double, see I've got 2 magnets together. This is to help me so I don't get confused when I go to put on the second magnet. Okay, and I'm just going to put them on like that, and I want them to, whoops, I want them to stay in the middle, so you might need to put the magnets, the blocks apart a little bit so they don't pull each other. Okay, they're going to slide around a little bit. You should kind of wait maybe for the glue to dry a little bit, but that would require patience, and we don't have time for that. Patience, I mean. Okay, so while these are drying, I'll put them off to the side. These have already dried. And so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dollop, using baking terms, a dollop of glue on the top of each magnet. And I'm going to take the magnet off and I'm going to stick it on the opposite side. And that's going to help me so that I make sure to put the right magnet glue side down and the right one face up. Okay, So what I'm telling you right now is that's all there is to it. Kaboom. You're welcome.